Hello and welcome to the Inns of Court Armoured Car Regiment channel. Today we will be covering the events of March the 28th to March the 31st, 1945. March the 28th. The previous day, the whole regiment had congregated in Feiseldorf and came under the command of 8th Corps. On the morning of the 28th, the regiment departed from Feiseldorf at first light and crossed the River Rhine via the American pontoon bridge at Wiesel. Travelling through Wiesel was made difficult due to rubble-strewn roads, but the regiment eventually got through and regrouped 2 miles to the east of the town, in the grounds of a farm that had been used as the local Gestapo headquarters. Among the usual vehicles of the Inns of Court there was one oddity. Troopers Bell and Burt of C Squadron were in command of an Austin 7, which led to the pair of troopers having to take a lengthy detour to another bridge, as the wheelbase of their Austin was too narrow for the ramps of the pontoon bridge located outside Wiesel. The regiment was assigned to the command of the 6th Airborne Division and was assigned the task of protecting the division's left flank and pushing out north in preparation for the advance of the 11th Armoured Division the following day, whom was still arriving in the area, having travelled from Belgium. B Squadron was detached from the regiment and placed under the command of the 6th Airborne Armoured Reconnaissance Regiment, which were equipped with M22 Locust tanks. A, C and D squadrons concentrated in the area of Erla and Resfeld, where they harboured for the night. A nearby German 88 had a clear line of sight of the road and kept the regiment awake for most of the night. March the 29th. C Squadron started its reconnaissance of the left flank of the 6th Airborne Division, but made little progress during the morning due to bad weather and poor roads, with their troops engaging a multitude of enemy positions and even capturing a half-track. B Squadron remained detached from the regiment under the command of the 6th Airborne Armoured Reconnaissance Regiment and would spend the day carrying out reconnaissance of their divisional front, while the rest of the regiment came under the command of the 11th Armoured Division at 1300 hours. Their orders were to establish and maintain contact with the enemy, providing information about the routes in the divisional area, and to keep liaison with the 6th Airborne Division. Elements of C Squadron reconnoitred ahead of the division at Hatton, where the road was found to be blocked and had to be bypassed. In Vienne, contact with the enemy was made, which was quickly disposed of, and the troops continued to advance towards Gaichen. The rest of C Squadron met little resistance until they reached Bayern and Ramsdorf, where the enemy was fairly active. Furthermore, liaison with the 7th Armoured Division was made. A and D squadrons were in reserve for the day, but keeping up with the division's advance should they be called upon. B Squadron, meanwhile, was also making slow progress due to the weather and roads, but encountered little resistance until Corsfeld, which was found to be well defended. B Squadron's patrols withdrew for the night behind the air landing brigade. A, C and D squadrons harboured in Wien for the night, although a few patrols from C Squadron were posted outside Gaichen, keeping an eye on the roads to the south of the town. Over the course of the day, the Inns of Court had captured 500 prisoners, which were sent back down the line to POW holding camps. March the 30th. C Squadron's patrols outside Gaichen were recalled back to the rest of the squadron at Wien at first light, with patrols from A Squadron taking their place outside Gaichen, ready to patrol ahead of the 11th Armoured Division. The air landing brigade cleared Corsfeld on the right flank, and B Squadron was able to slowly advance through the rubble. The 11th Armoured Division were in contact with the enemy on a 2-brigade front, which A Squadron were assigned to. A Squadron were also detailed to protect the left flank around Aspec, as the 7th Armoured Division had dropped a little behind. Gaichen was still heavily defended and mined, which held up progress, with an increasing number of small arms and Panzerfaust fire being noted. Due to the poor weather and roads, delays were being caused by lengthy traffic jams on the routes of the advance of the 11th Armoured Division, and in light of this, D Squadron was ordered to send patrols to Ostervik, Darfeld and Egerode to protect the right flank, allowing A Squadron to solely focus on the left flank. Ostervik was found to be clear, and contact was made with the 6th Airborne 2 miles east of the village. A Squadron was able to advance north from Aspec, sending patrols towards Aarhus, Heek and Metein. All 3 villages were found to be still occupied by enemy infantry, as well as the presence of enemy tanks near Lechten. Near Lechten, 1 patrol was attacked, with 1 Daimler armoured car being knocked out and a Dingo scout car being captured. Corporal E. Trevitt was killed instantly, and Lieutenant K. Hill died of his wounds soon after. Sergeant W. Walker, Sergeant E. Davey and Trooper R. Cook were wounded. The captured scout car was recovered the following day. B Squadron carried out a patrol of Billerbeck and met half-hearted resistance from infantry small arms and Panzerfausts. although one patrol had a nasty encounter with a couple of 88s. Billerbeck was cleared by the 6th Airborne, and B Squadron was able to advance to a point 2 miles of Grieven before halting for the night. A Squadron's patrols were recalled and harboured in the villages of Fretholt and Shoppingen, D Squadron being called upon to maintain a patrol all night at the crossroad west of Wolstavik. Throughout the day, the occasional German jet aircraft was noted overhead as the USAF bombed Hamburg. March the 31st. In the early morning, A Squadron's patrols harboured in Fretholt were engaged by tanks from the 23rd Hussars. Thankfully there were no casualties, but the resulting confusion took some time to clear up. Due to the delay, C Squadron took over A Squadron's role of reconnoitring the left flank of the 11th Armoured Division, while D Squadron took on the right flank. A Squadron would spend the day in reserve, while B Squadron continued to work with the 6th Airborne. B Squadron set off towards Grieven, but found the bridge over the River Ems to have been destroyed, and were unable to find an alternative route over the river in the morning. D Squadron's patrols reached Barkhorst and Altenburg, and carried on towards Norwalde, meeting only light resistance en route. C Squadron met heavy resistance north of Bergsteinfort as they attempted to make their way towards Meethane. Tanks from the 15th 19th Hussars were brought forward to clear Bergsteinfort. Due to C Squadron being held up, patrols from D Squadron were sent north towards Hembergen, Rheine and Nijnkirchen. Hembergen was found to be clear, but heavy resistance was encountered at Rheine, and the patrol had to withdraw to observe the enemy. Slight resistance was encountered at Nijnkirchen, but after the patrols took affirmative offensive action, the mayor of Nijnkirchen surrendered the town. By midday, B Squadron had managed to cross the River Ems at Grieven via a repaired small bridge. 2 Dingo scout cars crossed the bridge before a Daimler armoured car blocked it. It would take 4 hours until the bridge was cleared, so the scout cars pushed on with their reconnaissance until they were fired upon by a self-propelled gun at Mayastrop. A fighting patrol from the 6th Airborne was sent forward to clear the gun, allowing the scout cars to press on to the Dartmouth-Ems Canal, where resistance was met and no further progress could be made. C Squadron sent a flying patrol down the lateral road between Bergsteinfort and Altenburgen via Barkhorst to find the route clear. At 1800 hours, D Squadron's patrols also crossed the River Ems at Musum via a newly constructed bridge north of Emsdetten. They were able to reach Saarbeck, where enemy resistance stiffened and denied them access to the bridge east of Saarbeck. D Squadron's patrols withdrew to the western banks of the Ems for the night. During the course of the day, Lieutenant P. M. Welch, Lieutenant D. Baragwaffen and Trooper J. Almond were wounded in action. Over the duration of the 29th to the 31st of March, Lieutenant J. A. M. Mitchell of B Squadron came under heavy fire for an extended duration, observing enemy positions while at the lead of the advance of the 6th Airborne Division on numerous occasions. On one occasion, he also directed mortar fire onto enemy strongpoints. For his actions, he was awarded the Military Cross and was appointed Knight of the Order of the Orange Nassau with Swords. On the 31st, Lieutenant H. A. Pierce remained in observation while under accurate fire from enemy machine gun and anti-tank fire in order to pinpoint the location of the enemy anti-tank gun. His actions led to the destruction of the enemy position, for which he was awarded the Military Cross. Losses over these days were 2 killed in action and 6 injured, with 1 Daimler armoured car knocked out. References are on screen, and I hope you can join me on April the 1st in the next video in this series of the Inns of Court War Diary. Kind regards and cheerio.